Jolan true, Centurions, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command, Orion Pirates Plus Mod. I am Rear Admiral Tirak of the Dreadnought RAS Galia X-Ray as we continue our campaign against the United Federation of Planets, and things are going reasonably well. We have successfully managed to capture this planet here at 1010. We have mostly secured the area, as well as the station here at 11.9. And we are now, or 1110, and we are now looking at cutting off what remains of the little Federation snake we have here. So without further ado, let us set out, go kick some butt, and before we really get away from Romulan territory, let's just make sure that this ship is actually in good order. It is, so we shall kick off and go hunt down the last of the Federation main bases around here. So this season has been absolutely phenomenal for me. I've been enjoying this hugely. I had never really played the Romulans, so sort of getting into them like this has just been an absolute blast, especially because people like GTA have been around and like really helping me out through this, really engaging with this. And so thank you guys for being around, for really helping out with this one. And the other reason why I think this has been the best campaign so far is because we finally, sacked up and went to Admiral. Before, we had been sitting on Commodore difficulty level for 7 seasons, and quite frankly, if I may toot my own horn a bit, I think we may be a bit better than Commodore rank. So because of that, we were always running into the exact same tactics. There was variation. I mean, this game, every single faction plays different, so there was variation. But the AI wasn't super intelligent. And even here, there's things that we can exploit with the AI, but they would just not make use of large amounts of their tactical kit. They wouldn't use ECM to the fullest extent. They would never tractor anchor. And so playing on Admiral has really sort of brought out the best in the AI, and I think that really enhances the experience all around. At least that's what I've found so far. And I think that you guys are enjoying it too, seeing me have to work a little bit harder to actually, come out with a victory after having so many interesting matches with the Romulans. I think it's partly because of their kit. They're really alpha strikey, and I'm normally kind of sustain. I know I play Mirror a lot, so that's a ton of alpha strike right there. But never quite in this style, where it's you get one shot every 3 turns, you best make it count. And I'm really enjoying that. So it is a surprise reverse, of course, currently scoring off against a random Federation fleet, which is currently sitting here, mostly Coast Guard cutters, except I think there's only one light cruiser. Yeah, that was a frigate. So a single light cruiser that we're going to throw ourselves against and blow away. We're not escorted by anybody on this operation, and we're really getting to a range where I think, yeah, we're full speed. So let's send our little pseudo buddies out to go kill stuff. They're really, really good at it. 4 plasma torpedoes apiece. I mean, they're phenomenal. They're more powerful than a lot of frigates, even at this time period. DWXP, so you're a war destroyer of some kind. You are a fairly old light cruiser. Technically a destroyer, because that's a solid class name. It is a CLR. So, wow, you are really old. The Asus. Oh, really? We're getting involved in this now? So, how has everything been for you people? I think I've asked this recently, so, But I've been doing pretty well. Life has been pretty sweet. And I'm hearing plasma torpedoes going off already, so it sounds like my little friends are already starting to do their dirty work. And all the plasma torpedoes get ready to follow up with all of the phasers. Also, slow down, because, we need to actually hit our target 160-ish before I stop being able to track numbers. So GTA, who has been a huge help so far in this campaign, sort of learning how to play Romulans and pointing out some of the finer points of Starfleet battles and, by extension, Starfleet Command, has been pointing out that ECM affects plasma torpedoes. Now, this is something that, if I'm 100% honest, I had never really internalized. Like, I knew that ECM would affect the damage that phasers would do. I knew that it would affect the accuracy of photon torpedoes and weapons like disruptors, but I had always had this sort of little mental glitch that if it's a seeking weapon, it isn't really affected by ECM. And the reason I thought this was I play Marak. My favorite ships on the Federation when I would play them were missile-armed boats, and when I've finally gotten to Starfleet Command 2, it was all Marak all the time. And the Marak do not care at all about ECM. Yeah, sure, your disruptors are a little less accurate, but the main throw weight of your firepower when playing as the Marak comes solely from the fact that you are hauling an absolute metric ton of missile firepower. And because of that, I got in my head, if it's a seeking weapon, if it's going to track you through space on its own, it doesn't care at all about ECM. And GTA has been pointing out that's not at all true, and it looks like a light cruiser just become active. Really? Who was it? How have we not, like, destroyed everything already? It's gotta be you. I mean, you just fired off a whole bunch of photon torpedoes. So let's pseudo-torpedo this guy so that he freaks out. I'm assuming he'll freak out. Unless he couldn't prep a wild weasel before now, and that's the case. All the weapons in the universe. And phasers. Follow that up with phaser firepower. We'll track. I think, yeah, you're the last one because he's dead. Yep. That much plasma, not a whole lot of things to affect. Anyway, so if it was tracking you through space, obviously it didn't get affected by ECM. But GTR was pointing out, no, that's wrong. Because plasma torpedoes degrade over distance and ECM affects sort of the range bracket that you're operating from, that affects damage. And so in the last 2 episodes ago, I think at this point, or maybe it was last episode, when we fired a plasma torpedo, it did like absolutely nothing. And it should have been within range and he didn't weaken it with phaser fire. That was literally because he was pumping out so much ECM that it was affecting the plasma torpedo's capability to actually deal damage. So we will in the future, of course, have to pay more attention to that. He also brought out a very interesting thing. We haven't been using plasma anchors at all. Now, I kind of went off on a little bit of a long posty tangent responding to that. And yeah, we haven't been using plasma tractors, but I really don't think Romulans do great with plasma tractors sort of in the way that we use them. And I posted, I think, 3 or 4 paragraphs about this, but I'm just going to sort of short cap it here since, you know, we're engaging the enemy and this might be an SES. No, you're only CVA. Okay, I feel safe now. So I feel we've got a little bit of time just to sort of kill on this sort of thing. So the reason why I don't think that, by the way, for those who don't know, the plasma anchor it's the tractor anchor, the plasma anchor, there's a couple of different names for it, but anchoring your opponent. You fly towards them, you set up with your tractor beam all ready to go, you come in not too fast so you don't overshoot them, and when you get it within range, the tractor beam snaps on, locks onto them, that immediately cancels out any sort of ECM effect, that cancels out any sort of shuttle effect, and you can't launch shuttles while you're being tractored. So obviously, if you're armed with plasma torpedoes and you tractor somebody, and now you launch a massive wave of plasma, he can't respond to it. It's a very powerful technique. We used it a couple of times in our Gorn campaign. We really haven't used it at all here, and the reason why is because it places you kind of in the same position that you've placed them. I don't think you can launch shuttles, but I know that you lose your ECM bonuses. And you're basically giving them perfect accuracy shots at that point, which is a little bit dangerous, especially when you're playing Romulans. Now, the reason why I felt we could get away with it as Gorn is because the Gorn make use of a lot of armor. Their ships are just covered in armor. And because of that, when they get involved in, when they get tied up in a plasma tractor anchor like that, the return fire has to not only breach their shields, which are really considerable, it also needs to then get by their armor before it starts affecting systems. Now, because the Gorn come with so much armor, they can basically take this shot for free and not really care about what comes their way. Good, that did bait out the wild weasel. I was a little worried about that. And so a Gorn ship will not care so much about the return fire that's going to come inevitably in the response to, you know, being tractored right on top of the enemy. Romulan ships are much more maneuverable and much less well armored. So if a Romulan ship tries to do that sort of tractor anchoring maneuver, he's going to find himself in a position where, well, the sky's going to be falling on him, because imagine if we were right here and all of his photon torpedoes were ready to hit us. Oh, now is the perfect time to do this. We're going to be within, I guess wasn't as perfect as I thought. Oh, kind of messed that up. I had hope. Did not go quite as well. Although, the bright side of this is we did manage to knock out all of his shields. Let's set the plasma torpedoes back to normal mode. We're going to stay under cloak a little bit. We're going to get some distance. This is not a group effort here. So this is just everybody against each other. Oh, you actually track fighters with that. I didn't realize that. In the meantime, let's... oh, wow, we took a ton of power damage. We're currently down 7 points of power. Maybe I should be talking less about plasma tractor anchors and more about, you know, actually fighting the enemy, because it does appear to be something that we need to focus on. He's firing his phasers and Gatling phasers on us, but not having really much of an effect. Our cloak is really great when it comes to basically shielding us from the effects of any incoming fire, especially against fighters. I don't know if they have a reduced chance of hitting cloaked vessels from the normal, or if that's just something indicative about the fact that they're firing phaser 3s at maximum range. But it really does feel... Why are you doing 0 speed? You can't possibly be that badly hurt. Now, I am hesitant to deploy my pseudo-frigates right now because fighters do better than pseudo-frigates when fighting small things. Or at least from what we've seen. Pseudo-frigates do not survive in that sort of combat environment. So I really want to keep them under wraps for a little while. If you stay right there, I'm going to be super happy. However, I do need to start decloaking to fight things. And we are not charging our big torpedoes as fast as I would like. So that's a bit of a problem. Do I want to decloak? No, you've got this group coming in here we're going to have to pay attention to. And then after that, it's going to be him. Oh, they're just coming in waves and waves and waves. Not making my job easy, are you? There we go. And I want to sort of break this up a bit so they stop coming in like concentrated groups. You're on my target. I'm going to decloak and I'm going to shoot you. Here we go. Decloaking. He's facing the opposite direction, so he won't have a good shot on us. Oh, got most of the stuff. There we go. Back in the cloak. Nuclear space mine detonated. Did he take the hit? He must have taken the hit. So that's why he was going so slowly. So we've managed to wipe out one of his fighter groups. We're probably going to start focusing on the next one. We got to wait for our phasers to fully recharge. We're not really recharging our heavy weapons under this right now, and that's fine. And he's not really... He's taken 31 damage. Oh, wow. So that nuclear space mine went right through him. I don't know how much damage they deal at this point. I'm still a little confused on that. So, phasers, once again, about ready to come on. You're firing, then you're going to fire next. And I think... Fire, come on, shoot. There we go. Oh, we've got incoming photon torpedo fire. Not particularly accurate, although it was fired in proximity mode. There we go. That's another one down. So that's 2 out of 4. And yeah, I'm perfectly content to continue to do this. Get under cloak before they get in range. There we go. I am perfectly content to just steadily whittle away his fighters. Now, the reason I am is because the moment we launch pseudo-frigates, pain will follow. Because, wow, he's not even able to fully defend from our normal mines. The moment these fighters are down, we can launch our pseudo-frigates. That's 4 plasma torpedoes each. That's 16 in total. And with the fact that his shields are basically at nothing, the reason why you're currently seeing them at green all around is because he's out of range of our sensors to accurately detect him. Out of mine. And I'm expecting phaser fire. There we go. And how about you? Are you going to? No, you're still on the out path. Let's turn around a little bit. And we'll take an opportunity. We're going to put 1 point of ECM in. Do we need to patch that? Oh, we do. So our ECM is not being particularly effective. I want to keep track of who's fired what, and that's important to me. Because we need to hopefully avoid damage. So wait for him to shoot. Come on. There you are. Prepare to fire all weapons. We do need to make some use of some of our forward-firing phasers in order to kill him. Still turning. We need to keep... I'm going to stay out of cloak until we get him, because we need complete kills. There we go. You can't only partially kill a fighter group, because they will go back home, and then they will, you know, blow you up. Well, they will come back at full strength, and we can't afford that right now. So we've knocked out 12 fighters so far. We're looking at knocking out the last 4, and that'll make him basically helpless. I'm not detecting anything else anymore. There should have been, like, a battlecruiser somewhere around here. Or not a battlecruiser, but a light cruiser. A BR, I believe it is. So now we just need to focus on you. And our shields. Yep, we're in relatively good shape now. Okay. Decloak. And he will be firing, and it is going to be on a weakened side. So fire all phasers. Let's get back under cloak as soon as we can. Forward firing weapons. Come on. Don't let him away. Don't let him get away. He's going home. Alright, deploy the fighters. We're going to set them to harass mode. I don't want you getting too close. Because if they get too close, then phaser Gatlings are available. So targeting you. We deployed all our fighters. And we currently have a defense shift of 1 and an attack shift of nothing, so our phasers should be fully accurate. And we're going to drop it back in the cloak. The reason is we are going to pass over. There's no... Is that a... Did you launch a scatter pack? Yes, you did. Who are you going after with that scatter pack? It shouldn't be us. How are you... No. I know how he's tracking us. In the base game, he wouldn't have been able to do that. But in Orion Pirates Plus, there is a mod that allows you to do that. So we're going to pull away a little bit. drop a mine on him to encourage him to not move so much. As long as we stay under cloak, we are fine. He can't launch any missiles at us while we are cloaked. And if he speeds up a little bit more, he's going to start taking damage. This has been a fairly relaxed part, except for that one brief moment where we realized that we needed to pay more attention to those fighters. Oh, most of our heavy weapons are fully armed. So let's come out of cloak, because I don't think your photon torpedoes are ready to rock yet. And we'll be able to start laying in with our own plasma torpedo bombardment. So turn on in so we get the front weapons all facing. Can I get an S-type plasma torpedo, please? Thank you. And the other one. And I'm going to save the F just in case, because, you know, he may suddenly get a shuttle that he can deploy. All that. Phasers too. I think we've managed to dent his shuttle bay. Yep, the shuttle bay is offline. And basically, it's an execution at this point. You are done, sir. Tractor defenses are engaged, just to defend ourselves from a little bit of damage. We can afford to take the damage, but I would prefer not to. And phaser fire. Shut off the tractor defenses so that we can keep the ship moving. And target destroyed. Mission complete. We lose our shield right as the mission ends. All in all, well done by us. But yeah, as you can see, if we get too exposed just a little bit for too long, things can go south rather quickly for a Romulan ship. So I'm not really feeling the plasma tractor as an open-end strategy. An ISC shipyard, really? Oh goodness. Okay, so battleship, light dreadnought. Let's check this fleet screen. So light dreadnought X, battleship, and an X-type heavy cruiser, and it's us and a... No, we're gone. Well, we don't need to cloak. We're just gonna full engine power out of here. Decloak. Come on, we don't need to be cloaked. Nope, but I think we've been pressing too many buttons. Game got confused. Decloak game. We don't need to. We're just going to sprint. Wrong button. Kept hitting the X key instead of the S key. S, of course, being increased speed, and X, of course, being cloak. But yeah, we're not getting involved in this. No, thank you. I'm not going to throw my ship away. Not for no reason. Which is basically what you're asking me to do. And we're not going to do that. We are not insanely crazy. Oh, it's a battleship carrier. So, the X-type heavy cruisers are now online, which is pretty scary. Because they've just brought the heavy photon torpedo to, you know, the fore. And if I was a little bit concerned about fielding plasma tractors before, oh, I'm completely off it now. Because the heavy photon torpedo deals basically overloaded photon torpedo level firepower, just as normal. So 16 damage per photon torpedo. And if you overload that torpedo, it'll do 32. So it's a very, very nasty weapon that we're going to try and avoid. And for that, we need to play off our advantage in speed and maneuverability, which we do have. Although not so much speed anymore, because the X-type ships are very fast. So popping back in here, trying to cause a little bit more havoc. A base assault. Ugh, I actually don't want to do this mission. Base assaults are dangerous, incredibly so. But I don't think it's a gigantic base. We're squaring off against a dreadnought. We are escorted by a C-10 battleship and a C-9 battleship? Yeah, because the C-7s. And it's a space control ship, so the biggest, nastiest carrier they can possibly field. The question is, do I focus the fighters? Of course I focus the fighters. We have seen time and time again what happens when you do not focus the fighters, and it does not end well for you. So we're going to start prepping that. And what else will we need? Technically a wild weasel, sure, just in case. I mean, maybe a scatter pack is off and we desperately need to deploy something. Forward shield reinforcement, we were slow on that in the last mission that we fought because we weren't thinking about it for some reason. ECM, we'll go with 1 point for now, and we'll also match it with 1 point ECCM. That is going to reduce our speed down to about 17. It's actually a little bit better than that because we spend 1.5 per movement, so we could go up to 2. We will, because he's really, really piling on the ECM, which I suppose you would expect from a carrier. Yeah, he's really pumping it up. We've knocked it down to an attack shift of 1. Oh, now he's starting to pull away from it now. So he's not going to invest quite as heavily into that. So I should only need 1 to maintain the attack shift of 1. Because no. So if I do that, he gets ideas. So we'll go up to this. This, our maximum speed has reduced even further, but we're not getting anywhere near our maximum speed right now. Let's see if I can't sort of bait him out of it. Because we are now getting a defense shift, yep. Because if he wants to power that ECCM on his side, he's going to have to really start boring on the power. And we'll target the fighters with the defensive plasma torpedoes, because they can't dump wild weasels. Couple of hits, couple of misses. We've zeroed out the attack and defense shift, so basically we're spending a whole lot of energy to do a whole lot of nothing. Actually, no, now we should be doing fine. Oh, because we're targeting, duh. Because we were reducing his natural ECCM. You, on the other hand, are still pumping out a whole lot of power, so we're zeroed on that. So prepare to engage all of the fighters. Select 4. And engage with that. And then 3s. Fire that. And we should be relatively good. Phasers fired. And kill. Death. Murder. Kill. Nope. We fired all our weapons. Haven't managed to get through. Haven't destroyed nearly as much as we would like to. I would have hoped that that would have gone against the stern shield. Reinforce all. Slow down a bit more. We are spending 4 points, so that's 3 points of speed that we can't normally do. We've lost our stern shield, which is really annoying. So we're going to continue to sort of tango with these fighters. That may be something we come to regret because of that. But luckily, he wasted his firepower on one of our up shields. I think you've mostly given up your fighter advantage here. Although I should probably... No, mine not ready. I'd like to get it out though, because it's in a great spot. This is the nuclear space. Open select. Keep firing. So I don't think we actually managed to kill any of his fighters, which kind of sucks. And I do want to gain some distance before I start trying to... stroke with cloaking. And drop down to 4. Let him get some distance, because we need some distance. I want to dump my pseudo-frigates, but I can't do that if he's right on top of me, because he'll shoot them down. So we'll start doing a little bit of repair work, as long as we're here. So we have no armor, and that is something I should have kept in mind. Dude, don't do that! Seriously, stop that. I swear to God, I'm going to get killed by my own friendlies. What the hell? Seriously, Klingons? I'm not happy with you. Although if they keep this up, I may not even have to decloak and deal with this. Yeah, he's dead. He's completely dead. Space assault. My forward shield and my shields have basically been screwed because the friendly Klingons decided to break them by constantly dropping mines on top of me while I was trying to cloak. Yeah. Sometimes the game does frustrating things. And to think I was just praising the game for its fantastic use of the AI. We'll come into here, and this is down to 0, this is down to 0. Target you, how are you doing? You are not the biggest of bases, so that's great. Although, did you fly right into a nuclear space mine? XBS. Okay, so this is an X-type starbase. It is equipped with a single heavy photon torpedo and 6 phaser 4s, 3 phaser Gatlings, and an anti-missile defense system. We can take that. I don't want to deploy my pseudo-frigates, though. And the reason I don't want to do that is because, well, they'll shoot them down. Oh, crap. I have these set to the wrong mode. Enveloping plasma torpedoes, please. Just double-check. Okay, so defensive and enveloping can all be cast without any negatives. That's good to know. He's deployed his own fighters and has managed to already cause a massive amount of damage to the pitless. I think we're going to run in, fire all our heavies, and then break the heck on out. Because... Yes! Okay, awesome. Even better. Slow down the speed of time to, normal people speed. He's dumped the Wild Weasel. Wild Weasel's gone away. ECM. ECCM to 6. Let's see if we can't chart this up just a little bit. Just get this attack shift down slightly before I let fly. Let fly. Cloak. That's what I was worried about. We did take a hit on through, but we can cloak and we can pull off to the side. And we've managed to knock out 2 of his shields so far, reduced all the other shields. So that will work in our favor. We are going to pull out for just a little bit. Apparently the station's name is the USS Explorer. And we're going to retreat very temporarily, just to sort of get our systems back online. Although that should basically reduce them to a state where... Ooh, they've lost their shuttle bikes, so yeah. That should reduce them to a state where we can handle them. We did manage to luckily get the that attack shift down from a 2 to a 1, so that should have improved the amount of damage that our enveloping plasma torpedoes did. I don't know if it was the Pitless or the attacker. Wow, you're dead already. Wasn't expecting that one. I was expecting us to go around like 17 more times. But I will take that. So I'm trying to combine a whole bunch of lessons here. And I think we're doing okay. Knocking out the station has destroyed it from its tile, so that kind of sucks because it would have been nice to have more border stations. 155 plus 29 repairs. None of our pseudo-frigates are destroyed. Are there any new types? No, there aren't. So it's just the Bs which have awesome stuff, and the Ls are just apparently super fast with reduced plasma torpedo armaments, which is not something I'm interested in. Buy a whole bunch more mines because we use a lot of them. Done. We probably should have checked the shipyard before we did that. Yeah, we definitely should have. Oh, the X-type, the advanced cruisers are here. 2 Gs, 2 Fs, 2 Ds, 2 X-type plasma torpedoes. Ooh, I'm really tempted to get that. 2 heavy phaser Bs, 2 phaser Gs, and 8 phaser Xs. What else is there? No, it's just the XCAs are out now. I don't know. I'm really tempted to go down a setting to get into one of those. One, we've never used fast plasma or plasma X's. Please don't crash. Sadly, the game has crashed, so I will attempt to recover from a previous save. But that's definitely going to end the episode there. We've hit our marker and, well, the game's crashed. This happens every so often. We'll see where we can pull from. Anyway, I've been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to receive a notification every time I release one of these videos, press that little bell icon. Leave a comment. Do you think that we should take a step back to go for one of the XCAs or one of the other major X-type ships? Or should we kind of stay in the Dreadnought area? Let me know what you think, and I will see you all in the next episode.